Hi, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Engineering Talent Awards nominees interviews. These are brought to you by Equal Engineers. We are an organisation focused on improving diversity and inclusion of engineering industry. And you can find out all about what we do on our website. So this is a series of webinar interviews led by myself, Aon Dixon, and my co-presenter, David Perdue. And we basically interview those who have been nominated for awards this year. The awards, of course, had to be cancelled because of the COVID pandemic, but they are now due to take place on the 9th of September. So we're really excited about that. Now, if you have any questions at all during this webinar or you need some technical support, then please use our Q&A chat facility and our tech guy, Fraser, will help you out, or I will be ready to ask the questions that you post. So once, of course, this link is all done, with all the others as well, then they will be put onto our website. So when you see them, share, 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 and rewatch, because they're absolutely fantastic. So I'm not alone, of course. I have a wonderful guest, and I'm here today talking to Hemal Diaz, who is the creator of Stablspoon. And he's been nominated for Best Innovation of the Year Award. So welcome to you, Hemal. Big welcome.
Hello.
How are you doing?
Not too bad at all, thanks. Happy to be here.
Oh, so good to see you. So you are a student of Warwick University. Just got to say that's my hometown of Coventry. So
Nice.
I missed it. I've not been there for so long. I can't wait to go back. But you have been a student of uni at the university in Warwick. And I just wanted to find out, first of all, was it always your destination to go there? You know, what's the appeal of going to Warwick, first of all?
Yeah, so what really sold it for me was the open day back in 2015. I remember going on a campus tour and just seeing how energetic the whole campus was, how vibrant. And it just seemed like a really exciting place to learn, and it hasn't disappointed. So
that is fantastic. I mean, I never went to Warwick University. I only live in Coventry, but I feel like I'm part of it.
Yes.
Anybody says they went to Warwick, I'm like, I know, it's amazing.
Yeah, it is lovely.
Great stuff. So now you're up for Best Innovation, Best Innovation of the Year award. So tell us about Stablspoon and how the idea even came about.
Sure. So it was actually first inspired by a family friend back in Sri Lanka. So I used to visit him every year, and since I was young, I noticed how shaky his hands were. And year by year, it just got worse and worse, but my understanding of his condition increased. And I remember this one year, I was maybe 18. I asked him, what could I do for you? How could I help you? And he said, what he struggles with the most is eating food. So I had a look, because there must have been spoons and stuff to help with this, I thought to myself. And yeah, there was, but they were so expensive, 150, 200 pounds upwards. And having just started studying engineering at university, I looked at that and I thought I could do it for cheaper. So I started working on it in my free time.
That is absolutely incredible. And, you know, from working around engineers, hosting different events and meeting thousands of them now, they are just so great at identifying needs of everyday problems, you know, that people go through. But to identify that you can actually see a problem and then do something about it is remarkable. So can I ask you, what are the challenges of developing Stablspoon?
Well, the obvious sort of difficulty is bringing a product to market in the first place, especially if you've never done it before. So I'm a student, so even my experience in engineering is very limited, and engineering is just one sort of element of bringing a product to market. Obviously, you've got stuff like marketing, finance, and stuff like that, all sorts. So fortunately, the different institutions I've worked with have been very helpful. So University of Warwick, my project supervisor, Chloe Ag, who's definitely going to be watching this right now, helped a lot, definitely guided me through these sort of early phases, and still does, to be fair. Then the Design Council, which provided a lot of mentorship, funding. So fortunately, I've had a lot of support, but yeah, it does continue to be very difficult.
I mean, you know, I watch things like Dragon's Den, and I think to myself, to get that pitch just right, you've only got that opportunity, but you feel you have more than one opportunity, don't you? I mean, how many times have you had to kind of go back and forth over getting the marketing right, even getting a prototype correct?
Yeah, yeah. So I think one big aspect in anything is that failing is completely normal, and to succeed, you have to fail tens, 20 times. Yeah. So that's just part of the natural cycle, to be honest. And with every failing, I learn a little bit more, whether that be, why did this prototype not work? Or, why did that advert not work and stuff like that. And, day by day, I feel like as an engineer and as an entrepreneur, I'm getting better. So that's all that counts, really.
I mean, you say the word entrepreneur.
Yes.
Yeah, because, is that where you thought you'd be? Like when you were younger, did you think, right, that's it, I'm going to be an entrepreneur? Or did you think, no, I'm going to be an engineer? Or did you think, no, I'm going to be a spaceman? I mean, what did you think of when you were younger?
Oh, in all honesty, at the age of 22, I'm still sometimes a bit conflicted in what I want to do. But yeah, no, I feel like there's always an element in me which is quite interested in, being an entrepreneur, being my own boss, that sort of stuff. And I would guess I was just looking for an avenue in which I could pursue that. And obviously, I've been studying engineering. Engineering is a great interest of mine. So Stablspoon is a good opportunity to sort of combine the two, my engineering and my interest in business.
It's very wonderful what you've done with the name. It's so simple. It says exactly what it does on the tin. And I feel a lot of people get complicated and try and think, oh, let's look for the whooshiest or the buzziest. This is just exactly what it does.
And very much.
Yeah, and because of that, it can be sold worldwide without a problem because everybody will understand it straight away from the name.
That's the hope, yeah.
I work with stroke survivors, and I have a young man, I think he's 32, and his name is Marvin, and he loves to rap. He's absolutely amazing. He's very, very sharp, but his motor skills are not very good. And as soon as I heard about Stablspoon, I was just like, I have got to, as soon as this thing becomes a reality,
sure.
He's got to have one because it would improve his life so much. So do you want to talk to us about not just the physical issues that somebody would have who you're making this for, but for the mental sort of side of things, the emotional, the social side of things?
Exactly. You've touched on a really important point here. So Marvin, for instance, clearly a very talented man. But stuff like mobility issues, they can really hold someone back, as in they feel like they've lost their independence and stuff like that. And that's been the goal of Stablspoon from the start, not only to remove the frustration from eating with a tremor, but also to bring independence to people who may have lost it. Because having, sort of integrated myself into the hand tremor society, I've come across plenty of people who feel like they should confine themselves at home because they're embarrassed of their tremor, or people who've even, turned down promotions or even quit their job because of their hand tremors. So I'm really hoping this will be a big step forward when it comes to giving them back their independence.
Wow, it's just so incredible. I mean, I'm all about creating value in life. How can I create value?
Yeah.
For me personally, I use my voice. That's what I do. I create value through my voice. But to have a product that could literally change the lives of millions around the world, that's not an exaggeration, is it?
No, it's not. So, yeah, some estimates suggest that up to 1 in 15 people in the UK have a hand tremor, so there are millions worldwide.
Wow. Well, we've got a question. They're coming through thick and fast. This is actually from Chloe. You mentioned her name, and she says, hello, Hemal's University Project Supervisor, Chloe Ag here, as mentioned by Hemal. I am indeed here as promised. Hello, Hemal. Hello, Fayon. I'm so proud of everything Hemal has achieved. Some questions for you. So here's the first one from Chloe. She says, is the pun intended in the product name Stablspoon is so close to tablespoon?
Yeah, it is. When I heard that Chloe sent the question, I was worried she's going to try and make it very challenging. She was my lecturer after all. No, well, actually, it was. Stablspoon is meant to sound like tablespoon. Yeah. So.
Well, when I put out a post on LinkedIn earlier, just to say that, you know, we were going to be talking, and without even thinking about it, I was just like, you know, tune in to get the scoop on. I didn't even, it was just natural
So
because
many puns, yeah, it's great.
fantastic, you're really onto something here. So, oh, there's another question from Chloe as well. Oh, she's full of them, here she goes. How involved are you letting, oh, okay. How involved are you letting your little brother get in on development on the website, the product and the marketing?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. So obviously, when I started off the Spoon, it was just me working on my own. But now I've got a fantastic team, which does even include Chloe. But my brother, he'll definitely be watching this too. He's a very talented graphics designer. So he does quite a few of the marketing. So whether that be the website, even the name was pretty much his idea, the logo, stuff like that. Yeah, it's very talented when it comes to that.
And what's your brother's name?
His name's Yasaf.
His name is?
Yasaf.
Yasaf, nice
Yeah.
to have you, Yasaf. Fantastic. I'm always looking for somebody as talented as you, so hey, let's get in touch. So another question then, Chloe continues. She asks, are you going to come back to Warwick once you've graduated to talk about the next, or rather to talk about, or rather to talk to the next generation of students?
Oh yeah, of course, because I think a lot of people have the attitude when they start a third year project that, you know, it'll sort of end there and it's just, you know, only for a year, it's only to pass a degree. But I just want to show people, you know, it can be so much more than that. A lot of this has been a result of my third year project. So I'm really thankful for Warwick to sort of realize the potential and help me get this far.
Well, Chloe just wishes you all the best with your future. So I have a question from Edward. Edward asks, how does the Spoon work in layman's terms? Make it as simple for us, lay it down.
Unfortunately, I can't go into specifics of how it works, but the main sort of thinking behind it is our competitor products, they use complicated electronic systems to achieve stabilization. And while this works really well, it's quite expensive. So how my Spoon is fundamentally different is that there's no electric components at all, no batteries, no motors. It's just all mechanical components like springs. To get the inspiration, I looked like all sorts of things. There's plenty of things out there which need stabilizing, like tall skyscrapers in the wind and stuff like that. And the real innovation was trying to get something that big and reduce it to the size of a spoon. But yeah, the key thing here is it's all mechanical.
Okay, right. We've got another question for you. Thank you for answering that one. Andrew Jones, he asks, I know Hemal's been very busy in between lectures at university, his placement this year, and all the other things he does. How easy has it been to balance all his time commitments while developing this?
It can be challenging at times, but in all honesty, because it's something I'm so passionate about, it never really feels like work to me. So I've been, I can't complain really. I still continue to devoting a lot of time to it.
I mean, you touched a little bit on some of the challenges, but Andrew continues, you know, how do you deal with the, you know, the inevitable setbacks?
So yeah, like I was saying earlier, that it's inevitable, and I've sort of accepted that. At the beginning, I did feel down. Like I'm sure Chloe will agree. There's plenty of times I've come into a room with little prototypes, and they've been completely useless, embarrassing even. But yeah, you just go back to the drawing board, have faith that the next one will be better, and generally it is.
Got to add, Andrew just puts a big old PS. We're all so proud of you.
Thank you very much, Andrew.
That's really nice. So I have another question for you. Where do you see the product, company, and idea in, say, the next 5 or 10 years? What's the end dream? And Jonathan outside.
Yeah, so the dream really is to reduce the disparity between physically abled people and less physically abled people, basically. So I hope this is just the first product in a lot of products which will help humanity, hopefully just improve people's quality of life. That's the dream, really.
Well, you're well on your way. You are well on your way.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, I didn't know there was a name for people who had the tremors. So you've really explained that so well. I guess I wanted to ask you, because you talked about some of the people you're collaborating with, and you did mention Warwick University, of course.
Sure.
There's a lot of value going into the work that you're doing. I guess I just wanted to sort of flesh out for you who is benefiting from it, from this innovated solution.
Sure. So yeah, first of all, obviously people with hand tremors, like I was mentioning earlier, I'm hoping it'll improve people's quality of life and help them to be more independent. But looking at the bigger picture, we live in a country where the national health system is pretty strained. So there's quite a big demand for products like mine, which keep people independent for longer, because the longer someone is independent for, the later in life they'll need full-time care. So it eases some of the load.
And I wanted to touch on the fact, because you obviously, you're not there to blow your horn, I'm here to blow your horn.
Thank you.
You've won the Design Council Spark Award for Independent Living. Tell us a little bit about that and how that made you feel.
Yeah, it was great, because I signed up to it after I finished my third year project. So Chloe actually recommended that I applied to it. And in all honesty, even just being a finalist was a massive surprise to me, because before it was just, like I was saying, it was just a uni project, but now all of a sudden it's a beginning of a business venture. So yeah, just being a finalist, I was given access to some grant money, and also plenty of mentorship by people who are very far in their field, whether that be with product design, business, marketing, and stuff like that. So I've learned an awful lot. And considering I was surprised to be a finalist, I was very surprised to be one of the 4 overall winners as well. Yeah, very thankful for everything I've learned there.
Absolutely incredible. And I know also that you've been sponsored by the Design Council and the Alzheimer's Society as well.
Yes.
Do you go out to them and ask for them to support you, or do they find you? How does it work?
Fortunately, the Alzheimer's Society had partnered up with the Design Council, and out of the 10 finalists, I was the one they decided to sponsor, because they felt like it was the innovation which benefited their society the most. So yeah, they continue to support me, not just money-wise, but if I need any other advice, if I need access to people to test prototypes, stuff like that, they've been very useful.
Fantastic. We've had some other questions come in, but I'm just going to hold off of them for a second. I'm loving them. They're buzzing through. And you just joined us. Where have you been? Invention of the century here. If you have any questions, then do use the Q&A facility, and I'm going to come to you very shortly. I did want to ask you, because we talked about prototypes, we talked about some awards.
Yes.
I would like to ask you about just sort of what kind of advice would you give for anybody who's a budding entrepreneur, an inventor, and just doesn't know where to start? What would you say to them?
Interesting. First of all, I'd say definitely commit to it. Because I don't know, I feel like a lot of people, when it comes to when they see big businesses and stuff, they think to themselves, oh wow, if I have a fantastic idea, then that will get me all the way there. But the idea only equates to maybe 5% of a successful business. I'm not even there myself yet. The rest of it is all hard work. So if you do think you have a good idea, definitely just go for it. Do your research. There's plenty of places out there, and yeah, look at the opportunities around you. If you're at university, there's there'll most likely be a society just for people with entrepreneurial interests. So yeah, there's plenty of opportunity around you.
I mean, I can only talk, or rather you can only talk from your own experience, but do you think your school life, whether it was primary, secondary school, kind of prepared you for where you are today? Where does it all come from, or is it outside of school?
No, I think school did play quite an important part now, thinking about it. I was involved in quite a lot of things, maybe too many things. So yeah, I think one notable thing I can remember now is took part in a program called Young Enterprise. I'm not sure if everyone's aware of it, but it's Yeah, so it's a little program at secondary school where you run and maintain your own little business. So yeah, we had a business, Core Enterprises. I was the IT director. I made the prototypes. Our product was meant to be a little phone charger, which could also be used as a USB flash drive. So when you're transferring files to a USB flash drive, it would automatically charge the battery in this thing, and then you could use it to charge your phone. It's a dated idea. It would never work now. Don't think anyone uses USB sticks anymore. But it's quite interesting because obviously I was the one making all the prototypes back then, and that was even before I knew I wanted to study engineering. And a lot of those skills which I was using there, I'm still using now. So quite thankful for opportunities like that.
Absolutely brilliant. I mean, it's hard to sometimes convey to children still at school, how valuable it is to just try and learn everything you can learn, even if you're not interested, because you don't know where life's going to take you. So what have been the challenges for you? We talked about trying to market and go out and do sort of things, but I always talk about public speaking. And when I go into schools and do like these motivational talks and things like that, and helping them with their exams and creative learning techniques, and I always say how important it is to be able to talk about yourself, to honestly share your passion, talk about what you love. It's not a form of showing off, it's just letting people know about you. Are you a natural at this, or did you develop it?
Oh, thank you very much. No, I'd say I developed it, because even now I'm looking down, it says 29 participants, and I'm a little nervous. But yeah, no, there's been a few times where I've had to stand up and speak in front of a few people, and yeah, like you're saying, you slowly get used to it, because you slowly get used to the fact that you do have something important to say, and you think, and the people who's listening actually do want to learn more about it. So yeah.
Yeah, I think it's wonderful. I mean, I speak for a living, but I still get a lovely knot and butterflies in my stomach. I put that totally down to, because I'm just excited to deliver and be part of it. And I think if they ever go, it'll be like, you've lost it. So let's get back to some of these questions that are coming through. So excuse any mispronunciation. Hasheen Madipola has asked you, after the Stablspoon, do you have any other potential ideas for a next project?
Oh, that's an interesting question. I'd say a fork is the easy answer. But I don't know. I was thinking of a e-reader for blind people, so something along the lines of a Kindle. They're quite expensive at the moment, so I think that'll be a nice big project to sink my teeth into next.
Please do. Again, somebody that I work with in my stroke survivors creative groups, I've got a lady, she's 82, her name's Rita, and she's incredibly independent and mobile, and she travels from Putney to our group in Southwark. She could go to one closer to her, but she prefers to come to ours. And she has impaired sight. She walks with a stick. But I get the most WhatsApp messages and emojis and all sorts of things from her. But it takes her a long time because obviously it has sight. And I just think how much more improved her life would be to have something like that. So I know you're very busy. You could bring something on like that. That'd be great.
Definitely. I'll be next. Yeah. Give it another 5 years, I'd say, but
I just feel it's so, because I feel I have ideas myself and I just think, bam, wow, if it could just be developed like now, but they take time to get things going.
Definitely.
So, did we cover exactly from the inception of the Stablspoon to where you are now? Because it's not really ready yet for the user, is it? No, but in the years, is it 3 years from thought to where we are now?
Yeah, pretty much. So I started in my second year, and yeah, I'm in my fourth year now. So yeah, about 3 years. Yeah.
So we've had another question. Thank you, Jack Creer, and thank you for all the questions that have come in so far. And there's still time to ask any questions if you have them, no matter what it might be, because we're really getting some fantastic answers out of Hemal. So thank you. So Jack asks, What would ideally be the next Stablespoon product range? Kitchen equipment or care home products?
Oh, that's an interesting one. Come on, Jack, you can't give me the hard ones. I've got no idea, if I'm honest. I think kitchen products will definitely be the first focus, simply because that's what our first product is. So how we've got Stablespoon that's meant to be stable fork, etc., etc., and go on like that in the kitchenware line. But yeah, we'll definitely, like I was saying, expand into different industries and see what else there is.
Well, just to get on the back of that, I've been in my garden, like most people during lockdown,
Yeah,
absolutely transforming it. And, thankfully, I don't have a disability of any kind, but
sure.
you put pressure on yourself in such a way that you're like, oh, my back, oh, my elbow, oh, my this, oh, my that. I mean, I used to work in shopping television, so I know there's always a product out there that helps you sort of improving, your how you use a product so it puts less on you. But I'm thinking, I mean, Jack's on to the kitchen stuff, so I'm thinking, okay, there's big old homeware brands out there that you can align yourself with. But also there's the gardening, isn't there? There's motor transport as well, possibly. I'm thinking of scooters now. We're just feeding you all of these ideas.
Yeah, but yeah, exactly. But you've raised a good point. There's so much opportunity out there. There's still so many things where the designs can simply be improved to make it more inclusive to everyone.
I mean, children, have you ever sort of worked with the younger ones and done a kind of focus group or anything like that? Because again, the work I do with young people, they've always got such incredible ideas. Some of them know what they want to do from so young. Chloe talked about going back to Warwick and speaking to those students who are coming up. Have you ever thought about going into the primary schools and talking to really young children?
Yeah, the thought has crossed my mind, because even though, talking specifically about Stablespoon, even though it's predominantly for people, who are later on in their life, people, as young as 5, 10, have got, some of them do have hand tremors. So it is important. Like I said, a big focus of mine is to try and keep my products as inclusive as possible. So at some point, I will definitely be talking to young kids and seeing what they think of the spoon.
Wonderful. That is absolutely great. And inclusivity and diversity is what we are all about here at Equal Engineers. So have you actually come up against any real sort of diversity or any issues there where it was really hard to turn an organization around or a person around because they maybe were very closed to your idea? Have you had any situations like that?
Fortunately, when it comes to Stablespoon, I've had an overwhelmingly positive experience, whether that be from the University of Warwick or the Design Council. Everyone's been really inclusive, and I've made a big, diverse group of friends. So yeah, I'm quite fortunate.
And these are the friends that we can call upon over the years,
Yes.
Just incredible. And another skill that I say to young people that they need, because they usually say, right, what are the top 10 things that an employer is looking for? And of course, at school, they think, really good exam results, really good timekeeping, teamwork. I'm like, yeah, teamwork, definitely. Timekeeping, you've got to be able to manage your time. But the things that are up there are communication and networking.
Yeah.
And, when you're so young, you can fear networking because you've been with this group that have been your age for, all through primary school maybe, and then going on to secondary school and sixth form, and then you meet a whole new cohort of people in university if you go that route. But it's mixing with people of all different ages.
Yeah.
And you're 22, and we were talking about maybe you going back and speaking to younger kids, but you've seen that diversity when you've been going out to, talk about your product with the different ranges of age and ethnicity, for example?
Yeah, like you're saying, I've definitely bumped into quite a diverse crowd, and like you're saying, at the start, networking is pretty nerve-wracking. But I think the interesting thing to note is, I don't know, people are actually really helpful. They want to help you there. And yeah, especially if you have an idea like mine, which I hope to benefit people, yeah, then people are quite happy to stop, talk to you, and help you in any way they can.
They really are. You know, people, everybody has a story, you know, everybody has a story. And it's great for us to be able to share. And if I can offer anything, if anybody's watching this and it's like, well, you know, I'm not very good at speaking and I get shy and everything else, know what you want with regards to what you want to say about your thing, the thing that is in, you know, your passion, the thing that's driving you, you know, forget about you and talk about that. And, you know, when you talk to people about the thing they're passionate about, no matter how shy they are, you see their eyes just shine and the smile. Yeah. And you leave all the nerves behind. And like you said, it is just practice, isn't it, at the end of the day?
Yeah, definitely.
So we've had another question come through. This one's from Chris Quinn. Thank you, Chris. What would you say has been the hardest problems you have faced? Was it on the engineering side or was it on the business side?
Ooh, that is a good question. To be honest, because we're still in an early stage of releasing the product, most of our problems are still engineering related, even though I'm sure down the line I'll have plenty of other difficulties. But yeah, it has been very challenging to get something which is very effective, but is also small, because one criticism I hear a lot about other spoons in the market and other medical products in general are that they're big, they're ugly, they look like they should belong in hospitals. So there's a big push to try and make my spoon as, you know, small and as presentable as possible, but obviously you need to invent a mechanism which will fit into those dimensions. So that has been and continues to be a bit of a struggle, but I feel like we're almost there.
You are getting there. We are getting close to time. I've really enjoyed receiving so many questions. So there is still time. If you have a question for Hemal, let it come through. But I'm going to ask a question to you now. What would it mean for you to win the Innovation of the Year award?
Oh, it'll be amazing, because once again, even to be a finalist, I'm quite surprised, because it's such a big title, isn't it? Best Innovation of the Year. So many innovations. Yeah, it will be amazing.
Wow. So, I mean, obviously, we're wishing you the very best. And
thank you very much.
You've had time, of course, to get your, I call it the Oscar face ready, the face ready.
Yeah, exactly. I've been preparing in the mirror.
That's it, prepare in the mirror. And of course, you will be coming to London for the awards, won't you?
Yes, I will, definitely.
Yeah. Oh, look at that. We've had a sneaky question come in. Yes. So out of the other finalists, which one was your favourite and why? And that is from S. Shan Thankama.
Sure. So yeah, I assume this is regarding the Design Council, where it was me and there was 9 other finalists, all with fantastic ideas. But I think one of the most impressive ones was one called Koa, which is basically a duvet cover, which is very easy to put on, because I must say, putting on a duvet cover is a pain. And these guys, they designed one which could easily be put on. So it just makes it so much more inclusive to people. It's great. And yeah, I don't know why duvet covers are designed the way they are. They're a pain. So it's so it's nice to see someone improving on it.
I mean, this Stablspoon's amazing. That is answering. That's ticking a lot of boxes.
Exactly, yeah.
My husband and I literally like toss a coin to like, whose turn is it?
Exactly.
Should I be crawling in, or you can make a game out of it? I mean,
exactly.
What is with that? So we are getting very, very close to the end of our session. It's been so wonderful to speak to you. And I guess I've pretty much asked this question to everybody during lockdown, is what has it been like to stay at home and continue with what you've been doing? Have you found it difficult? Have you found it easy?
Fortunately, I'm living with quite a few other flatmates, and we've got 2 other engineers here. So yeah, every day we're just making random stuff. It's great. It's been really productive, and there's people to bounce ideas off. So it's been good. I've definitely taken the opportunity to work more on my spoon, so I can't complain. Yeah.
do you know, it's for you, it's developing your spoon. For me, it's growing my hair without having the, you know, the obvious problem of going out with my hair sort of sorry, I used to be bald out of my
Okay. I see. Yeah.
shaved my hair off and I was rocking the bald look for about 3
Nice.
years. And then I decided at Christmas to regrow it. And it's been perfect timing.
Yeah.
Apart from my family who sees me close up and a few other people I get in the webinars, you can't really see too much, but you know, perfect time to do so many things during this lockdown period.
Exactly.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, wow. Okay then, so I'm just checking to see if we've got any last questions coming through. You've got about, I'll give you about a minute to come through if you have another question, but I just want to thank everybody that's come through so far. We will have this webinar and all of our other webinars polished and ready to go up on our website very, very soon. So do look out for them. I mean, the range is sensational, but for Stablspoon, you're going to want to rewatch this one because it's been such a wonderful interview. It really has been with you.
Thank you.
You know, we're just watching that space. So how far do you think you are away from getting it out there and it being something that we all can see out there with the NHS or in care homes or even out on the marketplace?
Yeah, so we're definitely approaching the sort of final prototype stage. We've got something we're quite happy with, seems to work very well. We need to do a bit more user testing, which obviously, you know, given the current situation is a bit difficult. But we're hoping to be released to the market by the end of next year.
Okay, right. Well, we are definitely now out of time. So Hemal, thank you so much for your generosity in sharing so much about Stablspoon.
No worries. Thank you very much for having me.
Yeah. Good luck with everything and good luck with the awards as well. I'll see you in September. Do you know what you're going to wear?
I don't know. I've got plenty of time to think of it though, so it'll be fine.
We'll have a discussion because we don't want to turn up in the same thing, do we?
Definitely, yeah.
Thank you so much for everything.
Thank you very much.
So thank you so much for everybody who came on in, watched, sent their questions. It just was fantastic. Thank you so much. So our next interviews will be with my co-presenter, David Purgie. And you do come and you know, he's got them back to back actually. He's got one at 12 o'clock on Thursday and also one straight after at 1 o'clock. So do tune in for those. And from me and from Fraser, our technical wizard in the background, thank you so much. It's been brilliant to have you. Thank you so much for watching. And we look forward to finally meeting in person sometime very soon. Take care.